Ellie, thank you. I mean, he seemed relatively unrepentant walking out of court there.
Yes, Patrick, very happy to be leaving. He was actually wearing a hoodie and a face mask inside court, but as you can see in that clip, those two things were removed. He was in a vest and was smiling at the cameras. He actually said to the cameras, "We're outside," and then walked off with a friend, looking very, very happy with himself. But he did appear here at Thames Magistrates Court just after 3 p.m. this afternoon, and it follows those videos that were shared on social media under his social media name, which is Mizzy. And this hearing focused on one of those videos, and it's something he posted on TikTok called Walking into Random Houses. And that video shows Mizzy and his friends walking into a house in Hackney in East London without permission from the owners. It shows him walking through a front garden, through the front door, and walking around a family home. Mizzy even taking a seat on the sofa before finally leaving when the couple revealed they had very young children in the house. But there's been a series of these prank videos posted on social media, Patrick. We've seen O'Garro getting into the back of a stranger's car, saying he believed it was an Uber for him. Another, a video of him taking a lady's dog and running away with it before returning it back to her later. And another of him riding a bike around a supermarket. Well, O'Garro had been detained for 2 days before his appearance here at Thames Magistrates Court today. He stood to confirm his name, his address and his date of birth, and then he pled guilty to breaking a community protection notice on the 15th of May 2023. Now, Patrick, this community notice had been issued a year previously. It was meant to stop him engaging in any behaviour that might have caused harassment, distress or public nuisance. It was also meant to stop him from trespassing on private property. So the prosecution then stood up and said this was a very clear breach of that community notice. And they spoke about the impact that it had had on the family in that house that Mizzy had entered. The prosecution lawyer spoke about the wife in the video. She said she was under the impression that Mizzy was about to attempt a burglary on the family home. She didn't realise it was a social media prank. The children are only 2 and 6 years old, and it had caused the family great distress and concern. She'd also been identified on Instagram and messaged by other users. Well, then the defence lawyer stood up and said that Mr. O'Garro was sorry, that he had personally apologised to the family in that video, and he hadn't considered the true impact that his actions would have. He believed at the time that this was just a harmless prank. His lawyer said that he's just 18 years old, that he'd had a very, very difficult childhood. He was from a single parent home, and that he had ADHD. He was a person that struggled with validation and opportunity, and those were two things that social media had given him. He said that he had been egged on to a certain degree to do more controversial material in order to gain more followers and more likes, and that's what led to him crossing this line. He also pled with the judge not to put across a financial burden on Mr. O'Garro. But the judge said that it was clear from the footage that this was a breach of that community notice. She said that she was distressed by what he had done that day, but did feel reassured by his remorse and by his apology. She said that the only way to deal with this case was through a financial penalty, and that is what she imposed on Mr. O'Garro today, a payment of £365, which will be payable in instalments of £30 a month. She also made a criminal behaviour order which will last for 2 years, which essentially means he's not going to be able to post on social media without direct permission and consent of the people that are involved, and he won't be able to trespass on private property. That order will stay in place for 2 years.
Ellie, thank you very, very much. Ellie Costello there, our national reporter, who's outside Thames Magistrates Court. And, yeah, that was a story that we brought you a little bit earlier on in the week, wasn't it? And some of the footage there of his TikTok antics are just absolutely disgraceful. So, clearly unrepentant, though, it would seem, wouldn't it, walking out of court? You just hate to see it.